It is day 5 without the Lamborghini now. And yeah, I have several updates for you guys. The main updates is that I already figured out what's going to happen with the Benz, so I am getting rid of the Benz. So that's pretty much a done deal. I also decided that I probably prefer a Bentley Flying Spur over the other options. And yeah, so Bentley Flying Spur, definitely the main option to replace the Benz. But if I could work things out, I will be getting a Huracan, and I've actually been communicating with dealers and finance companies, if you will, on potentially getting a Huracan. I actually found 4. I might show pictures of them in the next scene, but yeah, pretty excited about where this car journey will take us. Out here on Saturday morning, and it is super weird not having the Lambo here at this point. I believe this is day 5 or 6 without it. And yeah, I guess life goes on. I literally have no update on it, but hopefully I get it back soon. I thought I would show you guys what I've been looking at. So this is number 1 actually. So it's a 2015 610-4 in this extremely unique color that I've actually never seen on a Lambo before. And yeah, so as you guys know, I wanted a 610-4 in either 2015 or 2016. And yeah, so this happens to be a 2015, 20k miles. I don't know how to pronounce any of this, but that's the color. The interior is like a peanut butter kind of, which I actually really like. And yeah, there's not that much to share about the car. 20k miles, and it is in Southern California, not surprisingly, and that's where I got my Gallardo, as you guys know. This is option number 2. It's a 2016, but it is a 580-2, and the color looks really good. I'm more of a subtle person, so it probably would be a little too crazy, but I did reach out to them just for the hell of it, and has 24k miles. And yeah, so it's a year newer. Not a 610-4. Mileage is a little higher, but it's pretty much the same price as the other one. This is option number 3. The only downside is this is actually in Carolina, but it does have a 1016 Industries carbon hood as the 1016 Industries carbon spoiler. And as you guys would imagine, this is probably like the ideal car to me. It is exactly what I expected the Gallardo to be, basically. I haven't got the carbon hood, but I was thinking the carbon hood. Obviously got the carbon spoiler, black car, black wheels. My car doesn't have red calipers, unfortunately, but ideally it would have been. And the interior of this car is all black with red stitching. So the perfect car in my eyes. And this is a 2017 580-2 as well. Same mileage pretty much as the orange one, and a few thousand over the first car. So the interesting thing about all these cars are that they're actually around the same exact price. And then this is car number 4. This is also a 580-2, and as you guys could imagine, it looks kind of like the stock version of the previous car. This is a 2018 though, whereas that one was 2017. So the cars I've been looking at are in 2015, 16, 17, and 18, oddly enough. But here's this one, a little lower on miles than the previous 2. I think 1,000 or so higher than the first car. Those are the 4 options that I inquired into. I will probably continue looking into cars. Obviously, different dealers might give different values for the trade-in on the Gallardo as well. So I'm trying to pretty much see how cheap I could get a Huracan based on what they're selling the Huracan for, and how low they're willing to go, and how high they're willing to go on the Gallardo. So that's kind of where things stand. But I am also looking at Bentley Flying Spurs, so I'm not really dead set on either. And I just want to make the smartest decision as possible with whatever I do choose. Do I regret buying the Lamborghini? Should I have waited? Should I have gotten something else? Especially if I'm considering getting a Huracan, should I have maybe just waited and got the Huracan to begin with rather than getting the Gallardo? And the answer a Huracan at the end of the day. You know, even when I got the Gallardo, I knew that goal at the end was to get a Huracan eventually. Wasn't sure how long it would take or how long I would be willing to wait for one. But, you know, I already kind of had it in my mind. I wanted a Lamborghini. You know, that was my childhood dream. I thought that I would also eventually get a Ferrari to complement the Lamborghini, and I would also get a Huracan at some point. Obviously, may happen sooner than later, but I'm very open-minded about things when it comes to making moves. And yeah, so I have zero regrets about getting the Lamborghini when I did. I have zero regrets about getting the Gallardo I did over a Huracan, or maybe a different Gallardo in general, or, you know, Mercy, or what have you, a different, you know, maybe a second gen Gallardo or whatever. Like, I don't regret about the specific car I ended up choosing. And yeah, so we'll see if I have the same mindset after the car gets evaluated by the Lamborghini dealer. But obviously, generally speaking, it has treated me well in the past 11 months of ownership. Another thing that I want to address, which isn't necessarily a question, is something that I believe is a pretty big misconception among, you know, people in general, I guess, even if you're not in the car community. And that is whether having nice cars actually attracts women and gold diggers, or, you know, however you want to put it. And I believe everybody will agree with me when I say that it is a huge misconception. It isn't true. I would say at least 95 to 99% of the times. I'm not saying it's impossible, because it probably does happen, but it doesn't happen as much as people would think. To me, it hasn't happened at all. And, you know, I see car videos about it actually from time to time, where it's like, oh, people think that having nice cars or a nice car is attracting women, but in reality, it's just attracting a lot of men. And that's exactly what it does. And, you know, I have no problem with that. I mean, I'm a car guy at the end of the day. You guys know that I car spot other people's cars all the time, and so on and so forth. So I understand it from both perspectives, because I'm that person too. And the owner of these cars, if they saw me, they would probably be like, you know, that's very normal for a guy to want to, you know, take a photo of my car, take a video of my car, or what have you. And it probably happens more often than women taking photos of your car, or you know, or videos or whatever. So I think, while it's a misconception, I believe car guys can basically have a consensus that it quite literally is not true that it attracts women. I mean, it can, anything's possible, but generally speaking, it just simply does not. And yeah, so it is what it is. I obviously don't necessarily care. I'm not doing any of this for anybody, really. Obviously, I'm doing it for all the viewers and people that enjoy my content and get inspired by it, or just find it entertaining or whatever. So I'm doing it for all of those people. And at the end of the day, I'm also obviously doing it for myself. I'm not doing it for like women or like what have you. Question people might have is whether I regret getting the C55 AMG that I'm currently in right now, actually, because I bought it in very late July, and I've already been thinking about getting rid of it for the last month or two. And the answer to that question is no, I don't regret it. It might sound like it was a stupid decision, and maybe a premature one if I was going to get rid of the car months after owning it. And I've literally, I'm not sure how much mileage I put on, but it's probably 1,000 at most since late July. And yeah, but I don't regret it at all. I think it's been a very fun car. It's been pretty cool. It's obviously very reliable, considered one of the most reliable Mercedes-Benzes ever, considered the most reliable C-Class ever. So for an AMG car especially, that's pretty impressive, and I don't regret owning it. It's a lot of fun. It's a small car, and I wanted a sedan, and since it is a small sedan with, I believe, about 670 horses, a little under, it's actually pretty quick for what it is. And I'm sure, you know, back in the day when it came out in 05, or technically maybe like the fall of 04 or whatever, it probably gave a lot of people a run for their money, because that much power in such a small and light car compared to what else was out there in 05, definitely not a bad option for a car by any means.